It's going to be very difficult, not just about their movement, but what happens once they get here. As you mentioned, Air Koryo, the national carrier, it's on a list of blacklists. The mayor of Gangwon province, where the Olympics will be staged, has offered to send a cruise ship up, but under sanctions, boats can't dock in the DPRK and then dock in South Korea. So probably they will travel overland through the joint security area where the meeting will be held. But then, the South, under its own tough sanctions, which are tougher than the international ones, are not allowed to use any financial incentives or offer financial assistance. So how do they then get from the border to the accommodation? Who pays for the accommodation? In theory, it would all have to be paid for by the DPRK, and no one would be able to be on a blacklist. And as we understand it from the initial delegates proposed, 2 members would be on a blacklist. So already the Blue House legal team here really scrambling to see that perhaps if they travel as diplomats, then they're exempt from all these other sanctions. But the IOC saying that it will now pay for the accommodation of athletes, but not of politicians. The President's office here seeing if maybe it can use humanitarian aid funds out of the Inter-Korean Fund and see this as a humanitarian issue which would bypass sanctions. So, there's going to be a lot of sort of a diplomatic gymnastics and contortion going on here. At the end of the day, it's likely some sanctions are going to be broken, if not sort of bent completely out of shape. But the response from the international community, or certainly the response we've seen so far to this issue, is probably going to be to sort of turn the other way for the sake of having a good Olympics.